Did you know that children, when they're learning to walk, fall down an average of 300 times? They still fall down another 350 times before they get really steady on their feet? Engaging God's mission in communities where we don't know the language, culture, attitudes, it feels like being a toddler again. Who wants to keep falling down? Who wants to fail? Maybe that's why we so rarely go out to build relationships and share the gospel with our neighbors. Or, if we do, we grab the gear, prayer books, traditions, and conventions. We travel into the unknown with our sacks full, too full to receive much from neighbors and strangers we meet on the way. Then Jesus called the 12 together and gave them power and authority over all demons and to cure diseases, and he sent them out to proclaim the kingdom of God and to heal. He said to them, "Take nothing for your journey, no staff, nor bag, nor bread, nor money, not even an extra tunic." Jesus has called us, sent us, to join his mission, not with our sacks full, but with only essentials of our faith. The trouble, as our Lutheran brothers and sisters have also learned, is that some of our structures hamstring the movement of God's people.
So we were just talking about the way in which church structures help shape an imagination towards what is church. And I have this kind of distinct experience of I started a church before I came to seminary. I don't do things in order very well. And so what we discovered is that without and in our case, in the Lutheran Church, without three expressions, a local congregation, a synod, and the national church, all kind of suspending the normal rules of polity, what would happen is that the current established structures would dominate over an imagination of what is church. So even if the leaders in the local community and the thing that was being birthed had an imagination that stretched perhaps what we mean by church. Even good people who really wanted us to be successful and were even in the right positions of power even at times. The system as a whole still ended up saying you can have any color car you want as long as it's black.
Wendy Johnson is a communications director for the Episcopal Church in Minnesota. She's done her share of youth and young adult ministry and wishes the church knew how to better nurture creative leaders.
The avenues that we've created, the structures that we've created, inhibit creative leaders, inhibit radical leaders, inhibit contextualized leaders from stepping forward. Because too often in the process that I've seen, people who do have those edges, people who say, I want to be a priest but I don't want to be in a parish, are immediately bounced out of the process because we don't have the imagination for understanding what leadership outside of walls would look like. And I do think that the national church has some influence on those structures and has some abilities, even through just kind of language, to kind of change those leadership strategies so that we can embrace leaders who do have the ability to contextualize the church.
Leaders in rural, indigenous, ethnically, and generationally diverse areas have, often by necessity, had to create their own pathway.
The initial steps were to take and center the community in gospel-based discipleship and the process of gospel-based discipleship. Bear Mountain bought into that and began to identify the things that they wanted to be trained in terms of how they were going to get there. That plan was developed and submitted to the bishop for his approval. Again, when the community met those things, would they then be ordained or not, or whatever they were called to be? And that was part of the deal with the diocese, was that yes, they would be, and then the process was put in place and developed.
There is no reason to scrap all that we've known, done, and loved. There is an urgent need to translate what we've known, done, and loved, to create spaces that serve as mission laboratories, where the ancient meets the future, where the wisdom of traditions meets the wisdom of the margins. Think of them as failure-proof zones. These spaces can nurture innovation and relationship with emerging communities. They can coexist alongside conventional churches in a way that fosters growth in both. Some call it a mixed economy church. It's the future. We still stumble along the way, but it's the Jesus way. Let's keep walking.